And here we are now in the game on the right-hand side of the map. From Team Fnatic, blue Zerg player on Jinro's account, which is so appropriate, Jay. He's going to be facing off against his opponent in the top of the left-hand corner here on Abyssal City. Guys from Team Acer, he is Belai.
And, well, maybe we will see MMA at some point. That's actually Scarlet asking if MMA would like to play second. We'll find out in a bit. Hopefully they don't chat too much during the course of this game. Anyway, what do we have here? 9 pool. Looks like out of our Fnatic Zerg player, and that's a very interesting opening on Abyssal City. It's a little bit more aggressive than that 10 pool. This could actually be one of those very, 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 very all-in versions, which revolves around either pulling drones or creating that Vespian Geyser and going right for a quick Baneling Nest.
Yeah, we've been seeing more and more of those lately. Both of those variations, in fact. You know, it seems as if as the metagame has gotten greedier and greedier and more perfect, which is, you know, perfection in a metagame is really playing with ultimate greed while still being safe against the majority of plays that your opponents will throw at you. These super all-ins have just been proving to be very, very effective. So, I mean, we've been seeing, I know in the last 2 weeks, Kevin, we've seen 2 drone pulls, and I've seen 1 of the Baneling follow-up here. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jay goes for.
Now, Andrew, tell me what you think of this, though, as an opening to a big best of 9 like this. I mean, is this how you want to set the tone with your opening player?
Well, it does keep people really on their toes. You know, there's certain times when cheese may be expected, and it's therefore going to be less effective. You know, you look at if you're, especially in like a series like a best of 9, if you're up by 2 and you haven't cheesed yet, game 3, it's not going to be too surprising to throw up that. But in game number 1, this is probably completely unexpected. But luckily for Belai, he actually did go for a spawning pool first and has followed it up with a gas. So he's definitely going to have a fantastic ability to hold here because Abyssal City, of course, is a very, very large map.
And it's not going to be the worst thing in the world for him to give up this hatchery if need be, because he's going to have so much of his other tech in place, things like that. So, you know, Jay's going to bounce over here. He's got a total of 8 lings, decided to put up the Queen Overlord afterwards. 8, or what did it actually ended up being? 10. 10 lings, yes. So making a couple more than I had thought. We'll see here, though, as Bly, he's going to have to make some units. He's already got 6 lings of his own, running those down. This hatchery has already accumulated quite a few hit points, so it can stay there for a little while at the very least, but it's going to require a couple more units than this to push it away, and there's the drones.
And he does bring them, and you know, it looks like Bly is going to engage this heads up, which surprises me a little bit. We'll see if he can make it. Oh, wow. Beautiful pull away there with those drones, and he is not going to lose too much here. Is going to be forced back. I mean, your ultimate goal, we saw him dancing with those lings, is keep your opponent from damaging the hatchery. You can kind of make it that, hey, if you attack the hatchery, I can attack you. But if you don't attack the hatchery, I'll just run away. And so no damage gets dealt. Here, well, Bly lost a drone or 2, but he did get that dealt with at least.
That's true, and he's still, let's actually take a look at the overall worker count. Wow, he actually cut a lot to get this done. He's got his Zergling speed on the way. He's got a couple more Zerglings themselves, but I'm actually impressed at the way that Jay came out with a pretty decent advantage here. I thought definitely after the pool first from Bly, he was going to have the earlier lings. He was going to be able to push his opponent away, that it wasn't going to be that big of a deal, but it ended up being okay for Jay.
A lot of it came down to Bly's reaction. We talked about how, you know, he pulled the drones and he forced the engagement. He didn't know if Jay was going for the Baneling follow-up. And if Jay's going for the Baneling follow-up to this early pool, well, you want to kill as many Zerglings as possible because that's less supporting units for the Banelings. But in this situation, Bly kind of, you know, he did the engagement, he killed off the lings, but then Jay actually wasn't going for the Banelings. If he was, that would have been great for Bly, but he wasn't. And so now, Bly's in this position where he made all these extra lings, Jay made drones instead, and Bly pulled drones and lost drones to fend off those lings. And it's kind of just like, it's not a good position for Bly, but hey, you know what? He's got gas, he's got speed, he's got a lot of options available to him to try to get a little bit of counter damage in here.
And he has got a ton of lings on the way. He's going to be up to 20 here in just a second. Speed finishes up. His Baneling nest is done. Look at that, 5 Banelings already morphing in, and he was hiding these speedlings for a while. Now going to duck him out across the map because they'll arrive at just the time these Banelings finish up and start rolling into his opponent's natural. But that is going to be a risky proposition.
Well, yeah, that spine crawler so late down now. Just about a quarter of the way done. We've got lots of speedlings already. They're pretty much at the base. They're just waiting for these Banelings. The spine crawler halfway done. 18 lings about to pop out here for Jay. Is it going to be enough?
All right, good burst initially with the Banelings. Takes out 4 Zerglings for the price of just that 1 Baneling. And he is actually going to take out the Spine Crawler very quickly if he wants to, but waste 2 more Banelings on it. Surprised he didn't pull his Zerglings away and then use the Banelings to try and take out any clump Zerglings that were sitting on the ramp. In any case, Jay is able to hold. He retains 2 of his queens. He's got a 3rd on the way. He's still up by 8 workers, and even though his economy is a little bit behind his opponent, holds pretty well.
Yeah, he held that beautifully. I mean, if Bly had reinforced that, he may have actually broken Jay, who now has Zerglings, but as you can see, you know, Bly can morph in Banelings. Jay does not have that option. And he's still got Slowlings. So, but Bly behind this, he tried to play catch-up, tried to make drones. We're going to see if these Banelings can get some contact. No, beautiful splitting out of Jay, and almost nothing is going to die here for him.
Wow, yeah, he only killed 1 drone with 3 Banelings. He injured a few more, but he doesn't have any Speedlings following this up, and anything he does make is going to have to defend against these Slowlings, which are making their way into his base right now, and Bly is going to get a lot of these drones caught. Actually, nice job Mineral walking those through. Doesn't actually take that many losses, and the Banelings are going to morph in time, but it may come at the cost of this hatchery.
That was beautiful, though. Bly making a wall off with the Banelings and the Queen. That's phenomenal, but you are right, Kevin. The hatch is going to fall, and Bly is just falling further and further behind right now.
And that is a disaster for him. The hatch goes down, and his recovery options are very, very limited in this game. You can see that Jay's already preparing for some sort of a follow-up. He's got 2 Spine Crawlers, multiple Queens in defense, and going up to that Roach Warren. So as long as he doesn't die from a big follow-up, then he's going to look okay. In fact, even the players, Scarlet and MMA, commenting that this isn't the best situation for their teammate Bly.
It definitely isn't. He gets a drone. I know I heard a drone die.
Yes.
But other than that, Bly's not going to get any damage in. He's down right now, 35 supply to 52. Banelings coming in. There are a couple of injured drones there, but nope, not going to make contact. In fact, Bly is just in such a difficult position right now. He's only got his hatchery halfway done. Jay's making a Roach Warren. What can Bly do?
Well, I mean, Bly's trying to go for layer tech out of this, but the problem is that the Roach follow-up is actually going to hit very quickly if Jay decides to commit to it. I mean, he's making a couple defensive Roaches, but it's really a question of what he does with the next round of larvae. If they all go into Roaches, and he is freeing up a ton of excess supply, so we may see a big Roach play here in just a moment, then he is going to be in a fine spot, and he's going to catch his opponent relatively unawares.
Yeah, he really will with that. 5 Roaches on the way right now, however, with the lair as well. So really early Roaches here with the really late lair. It looks like Jay is, well, there's 2 things. If we keep, okay, he's still queuing Roaches, so he's actually just going for a push here. If, you know, 6, 7, 8 Roaches, okay, maybe I'm making this just so that I'm safe no matter what. You can't all in me and beat me. But he's still making Roaches, so he's definitely going for a big attack here, and it's probably going to be pre-glial reconstitution, pre-any of that stuff. He's just going to push out in a minute or 2 here with these Roaches, and it's going to be pretty scary. We've got the Spire on the way right now for Bly, though.
Yeah, but will he be able to take advantage of that in time? That's a question. Spire is one of the very longest buildings to construct in the game. Takes just as long to make a hatchery or a command center or even a dark shrine as it does to make a Spire. So it's really long build time, and then you have the Mutalisk build time on top of that. Once those Mutalisks are constructed, yes, they cannot be damaged by Roaches, but their DPS is usually too slow to be able to impact this great of a force.
Here's what's really interesting right now. So units tab, take a look. We got 21 Roaches to 3 Zerglings. And no Roach Warren for Bly either. He has no way to deal with all these Roaches. No way at all. I'm stunned that Jay right now, you know, he looks like he's going to sit on this. I mean, he's going for a +1 glial reconstitution time. You can see the lineup of those where the glial is, yeah, it's 40 seconds ahead, which is they're going to wrap up. I mean, this is very interesting because he's going to be able to move across the map when he gets there +1s near finishing.
Yeah, he could
kill him.
Yeah, he's actually messed it up a little bit. I mean, it should be the other way around, so you would hope. But because of the later layer timings, he was off by a little bit in a variety of those. But it's still, it's not, I mean, regardless of the fact.
He's still incredibly far ahead.
Yes.
It's just, Bly could be dead.
Yeah, there are 6 mutas that are popping up now. And I'm just waiting for these Roaches to start moving out because they will begin to lose their effectiveness. I mean, there is the outside chance that these Mutalisks, they catch the Roaches as they make their way.
Like now.
Yeah, exactly. If they would hit them this second, then they could start damaging them, and that would buy Bly enough time to start, you know, reestablishing his third base, or establish his third base, get some sort of an economy put together, but I just don't know if it's going to hit in time.
Yeah, Bly's also, he's picking off Overlords, so he's going to prevent reinforcements here, but the reality is the Roaches are already in his natural expansion. Evolution Chamber's not going to get down in time. That was a big mistake out of Bly that he tried to go for that. He obviously didn't realize the Roaches were on the map even though he had vision.
Yeah, we can see these roaches are getting picked off little by little. Scarlet very aptly commenting that this is less than ideal. And it is, because Layer Tech's going to die very quickly, the rest of the economy with that too. And even though these Mutalisks are going unopposed, they just can't kill things quick enough to stop these roaches. And Bly is now down to 40 supply and falling, losing the rest of his workers as they charge their way out. And things are looking very bleak for Team Acer to begin game one.
Yep. There are roaches everywhere. It's 37 supply to 137. That's not true, but it still paints the same picture.
Yeah.
Bly is dying. A very slow and painful death. This natural expansion going to fall here in just a second while roaches are picking away at the third. The main is already dead. Expect GG any second.
Yeah, I mean, Bly can't get anything done across the map. There's already spore crawlers that are put down. I mean, Jay can spam the map with those because he has such an advantage. It's not like it's hurting him to put down additional spore crawlers. He just wants to make sure that he remains absolutely safe to this, and he is going to. The last couple of drones are running away. They're trying to get down to this next hatchery to do anything in time, and we can see that Jay's going to come through and clean up the last couple of workers, and probably this hatchery here in a second. He could actually just focus this down, and then there wouldn't be enough resources to establish another hatchery anywhere.
Yeah, this is also true. Actually, yeah, like that would end the game. But of course, he can't see the mineral count of Bly. But this is the point in the game where, if we had our, by the way, the new polling system, I want to talk about that later, that's coming in is absolutely sick. We have that drastic momentum shift right now.
Yes.
The 95% Bly, or Jay. And then the 5% that still have faith in Bly for some reason, but really they just went to go get a sandwich because this game is over.
Yeah, Bly hanging on. He's not making anything. His 11 Mutalisks are all he's got to his name. He can't mine anything. He doesn't have enough money to produce anything else. And the rest of his structures are actually going to be off creep soon. The only one it's not really going to affect is the extractor, of course, because that doesn't bind to the same rules as needing to be on creep, of course.
All right. This is the play out of Bly. He needs to kill everything.
Oh, and nope, not going to happen. One fungal, and that's GG. Fnatic takes game number 1 here of this best of 9. Congratulations to them. Strong start for Fnatic. Jay.
Absolutely. Bly's a really, really good player, and Jay just had a very, very easy time with him.
Yes.
Which surprised me a bit. But, we said Bly seemed to expect that there was going to be a Banling follow-up there with how much he committed to killing those Lings. And that didn't happen, and then he lost.
All right, so a very convincing performance for Fnatic to begin things here. And player number 2 is not going to be MMA. It is, in fact, going to be Scarlet. So another Zerg player. We're going to have a ZVZ.
All right. Well, we will be moving into that shortly, guys. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. This is IPTL Scarlet versus Jay coming up next.